Welcome to this live interview session. I'm very happy to welcome you here and also to be part of this live session. In this session, we are inviting someone for this interview, Adebayo Emmanuel, and I want to take this time out to invite him to join this session with us. So, Adebayo Emmanuel is already here with us. Please just give me the little time to invite him to this session.
Emmanuel, and we're going to be doing this together. Excuse me. Okay. 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 Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Wale.
Okay, hope you are good. I believe you are doing so fine.
Yeah, I am. And you?
I'm so good as well. I'm very happy to have you on this live interview session. And I believe our followers also entrepreneurs out there will be very happy to be here to witness this session of interview. This is just a time at which we are going to be talking about entrepreneurship. And then you being an entrepreneur yourself, you have some experience, some knowledge, and some insights we want to pass across to several other startup entrepreneurs across the globe. So let's start with this. Can you tell us about yourself?
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wale, for this wonderful invite. Yeah. My name is Adebayo Emmanuel. All right. I'm the CEO and founder of Bob Marks Fashion Hub. And I'm a fashion entrepreneur majorly. I'm a fashion coach, and also I'm a life coach. I'm also the founder of an organization that empowers women on entrepreneurship development and creating solutions to problems in rural communities. So that is what I do.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. It's just an opportunity once again to have you on this live interview. So since when have you been working on your fashion business?
Okay. I've been in the fashion line 5 years now. Yeah, 5 years down the line. That's when I've been that. So I said professionally. So other needs and development were not part of my professional years. So I started professionally about 5 years ago. I began to do the business, and when I was having customers that pays me for what I do.
Okay, that shows that in 5 years, you have a lot of experience. You've come across different customers. You've seen different aspects of the feed in Nigeria. So, in short, what will you say about the fashion business in Nigeria?
Okay. Let me say the Nigerian fashion industry it's a very polluted industry, and it's also an industry that provides opportunity for entrepreneurial minded fashion designers. Yeah, there are fashion designers who are entrepreneurially minded. So there are a lot of opportunities actually, and there are problems in the industries that entrepreneurs with creative ideas can see solve and be of impact in the industry. So the industry still give rooms to accommodate startup fashion entrepreneurs, in the sense that day by day we have seen diverse taste of people in terms of developing fashion mentality and mindset. We've seen people wants to look unique and different in a particular kind of way. We've seen people that wants to look expensive. We've seen people that want to look cheap. We've seen people that wants to go local. We've seen people that want to go uh, copycats. And we've seen diverse set of people that wants to buy from the industry and are looking for the right brand to patronize, the right brands that have the solution to the problem that they want to solve for themselves.
Okay, thank you so much for that. I believe that is a lot of experience that you've given us so far. So you found the Bob Marks brand. So what is Bob Marks about? Like what is the business about? What service does Bob Marks offer to Nigerians, and how is it different from every other business or every other fashion houses that are out there?
Um, Bob Marks, it's a fashion brand that is unique in what it does, and it's unique in the sense that we are using uh, elementary, what we now call tailoring. We are using it to solve a global problem in the fashion industry, which is a waste problem. So what we do basically, we do two things. We do sustainable fashion and sustainable tailoring. So what this two does is to curb the effect that waste, global fashion waste is having, especially in Africa, because research has shown that um, the Africa is the receiving end. About 70% of global waste are being dumped at the soil of Africa. So and Nigeria being part of it, because we always have this demand for global brands and all. We want imported goods and all that, but we are not minded of the effect, the impact that this product have in in our immediate environment. So what we do in Bob Marks is we do basically uh, elementary bespoke tailoring. That is, we tailor a particular dress to individual specifications and styles. And our unique thing in that line is that we create
Network.
have to you that when someone sees it on you, it's as if they just take you and put inside the dress, and that is what we do with our tailoring line. So our what we do in our sustainable line is that, so the impact that our tailoring solutions does is that it gives longevity. So our research shows that uh, over over 15 million tons of garments annually in Nigeria ends up in the landfill because of two things, according to our research. One, poor quality, or bad fit. Okay, so we tend to make use of the best available materials for our productions, and we use the best available stitches equipment for our production so that it can give longevity. So, and we're also careful in sorting for the fabrics, the textiles that we use for our production, because we are so environmentally minded in what we do. So in that regard, we create clothing with long life, that even when you, the owner, you are tired of wearing it, it's still not fade. It is still wearable, and it's not something that you can dump into the landfill in a short time. So one of our solution also is upcycling. So what we do with upcycling is that we give old used garments, we give it a new life. And how we do that is that we transform the face of such a garment to make it new again by doing some alterations, some redesigning on that garment. And there are some that we convert into another type of dress entirely. so that it can be used again instead of dumping it aside. So that is what we do currently at the moment. Also, another thing we do is that we give clothing longevity through custom alteration. Through custom alteration. So what we discover are people that have certain kind of garments um, dumped in their wardrobe and are not wearing them. So they have lost their feet. So what we do, we create a custom alteration solution where give we extend the life of every garment through alterations, and the owner of such a garment can put it on again and not minding feet this time around. So that is that. And also there is a solution we are currently designing on how that we can recycle uh, garments that are not wearable again, because we are mindful of one of the things that take us into this part is that when you dump a, a garment into the landfills, it takes about 15 years or more for it to decompose. 15 years or more to decompose. So, and that is a very huge impact on the environment. So, that's the part trading at the moment, and the other part we still want to trade in the space, because we have seen a lot of opportunities and so that is what we do.
Okay, thank you so much. It appears that the network is not very okay, but we are good. So about the sustainable fashion, are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
About the sustainable fashion, how do you come about the idea? I mean, what is that thing that make you think of sustainable fashion? What is happening? I mean, what is happening in the fashion world with materials? They talk about a lot of waste that Africa is receiving globally. And I want you to talk more about that sustainable fashion, like so that we can all understand what it's about and how you've come about the idea.
All right, first, okay, I will start like this. Uh, I will start from my adventure into fashion designing, then how I came about sustainable fashion. All right. So first, what I had from the beginning was just what almost everybody had, the elementary art of sewing, that is tailoring. So it never occurred to me that I can be different from I can be more than being a tailor and all. So all I was doing before was just to sew for people, design clothes and all and all. And so and initially, before, I was not seeing this as a way out for me because I believe so much in academics then. And there was this experience I had while I was campus. Though it's a very funny one, though. Then I decided not to do anything that has to do with my handwork and just face my studies and all. So there was this particular day, my clothes got torn, and I I gave it to someone to amend, and the person was like, the person billed me too high. I was like, for this thing that I know how to do and all. That was not only that. A friend of mine, about 3 to 4, gave their clothes to a designer here in my location in Akure, and what they got, they were not happy with it. They were not satisfactory with it at all. Okay, I was like, and I said, I think this is time for me to try this out. So when some of those my friends they saw the things I have done before coming to school, and were like, boy, why are you keeping this? Why are you hiding this? And so I decided to give it a try. I came in with my equipment, I was working, but I was not really getting what I want. I knew there was more than that for me. So I began to research. I was developing even the what I know how to do then, the art of sewing. I was developing the skill more and more and more and more and more. And I would look at people across Europe, across continents, and look at designers and what they do, how they do it, and all. So, talking about sustainable fashion, then I was thinking, how can I be globally relevant, even with what I'm doing? Then a thought came to me that what makes people relevant, and it is in the problem they solve. So I was like, okay, that means then I don't understand that as a fashion designer you can solve a problem, because I don't see problem in sewing for people and all. But when I took a journey into that dimension, and I asked myself, what problems does fashion designers solve? That was the starting point of my research. And I began to see how fashion designers position themselves as a problem solver and all and all and all and all. Then I asked, okay, if I want to be globally relevant, that means I have to solve a global problem. I have to solve a problem that in the global space, people that I admire in this space are trying to solve. All right. So then I came across, I've seen some images online before that I didn't pay attention to. I saw a dumping site full of clothes. It didn't matter much to me. Then there was now this particular day. I followed some of my friends. I have about three or three friends that usually patronize ready to wear like that, and they went to buy much of clothing and all. So I discovered that what they bought uh, in the 3 months after, they were not wearing up to 40% of what they bought. Yeah, they got dissatisfied with what they got in the market space. Then it took me back to the things I was learning in my research. Then I now dig more into know what it's all about. And social media is not only about creating organic products. No, it's just about doing fashion in an eco-friendly way, and it comes in many dimensions. One, being environmentally friendly. One, and being friendly to the users of fashion. Being friendly, that is ethical fashion. Being friendly to the workers in the fashion space. Okay, so those are the things that encompass it. So then I look at, is a big space. What I have, how can I position myself? Then I researched. What I did then, I researched the impact of fashion designing in reducing fashion waste. Then I came across stores. Then I look at our fashion behavior in Nigeria and Africa, and I discovered that our behavior is one of the reasons is the reason for the impact that global fashion waste is having on us, our buying behavior and all and all. So putting all those research together and with what I have in my hand, how can I position myself together? So that was when I came about my sustainable fashion ideas, the upcycling part, the custom alterations and all, and how also what also inspired me was I was reading about the guy, I think in the United States, and the guy just does bespoke tailoring, right? So and this guy positioned himself as a sustainable fashion brand. Then I began to study on him, like what makes this guy a sustainable fashion brand. Then I realized by my research that oh God, there was one Nancy something something, I can't remember, that said we can reduce fashion waste by creating. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay, so there was this Asian designer that said that we can reduce fashion waste by creating custom clothing. That is clothing that is specifically made for an individual. I was like, wow. So if I position myself even as a tailor, there's a way I can position myself as a sustainable fashion designer, because what I'm doing is that I am challenging the impact that fashion waste is having. That is clothing with short lifespan. So if I can create a clothing with long lifespan, then I can be a sustainable fashion designer. One, if I can save a clothing from getting to the landfills, then I'm a sustainable fashion practitioner. So I began to put those pieces together, and I look at, because everything I channel it down from global view, global research view to local research view, and I was at the time I was interviewing people, why do you think people get tired of a particular kind of garment and all? So many responses came in, quality of the textiles, quality of the designers that made it, and all and all and all. So I began to put all those pieces together, and I see that my idea is not just vague, because I need to test if my idea will be needed. And I've seen a lot of people that want to transform face of the garment and all. So that was the inspiration for me. Seeing someone in another world uh, positioning himself with that which I am doing here in Africa as a global relevance designer was an inspiration for me. And also, let me put this: when in my studies, I discovered that the products we buy from overseas, the designers of those products are now positioning themselves as a sustainable brand. Why? Because the global, I think there is what they call global fashion, GSC, Global Society or something. The eyes of those organizations are on the likes of Zara, the likes of Prada, all those big guys that we buy from them, and they want to know the impact they are contributing. So, like, let me use Zara for example. If you go to every Zara store now, what they do is that they have a collection bin of where people donate their old used garments to. What they're actually doing is they are positioning themselves as a sustainable brand. When you go to Nike, Nike also is doing the same thing. So when I now began to look at those guys, that if the leaders of this space can get into this new space, then it shows me that I need to position myself, because a shift is coming in the industry. And take this from me: a shift is coming in the industry where if you are not positioned to be environmentally and economically friendly in your solutions provisions to problems, you won't be relevant in the industry. Yeah. So those were the inspirations for me. And that was how I came about my idea
Okay.
for sustainable fashion.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. Firstly, you spoke about solving problem as a fashion designer and as a fashion brand. We know right now in Nigeria, we have a lot of tailors out there. We have a lot of people that are learning fashion designing, and then we have a lot of shops that are opened to render tailor services and are also into fashion designing. But I think that most of them does not understand the concept of them solving a real life problem for people in the society. I believe that people, we don't just want to be seeing every 5 meter of fashion design house or of tailor shops everywhere. So what can you tell to upcoming entrepreneurs about solving a particular problem of the society? So what will you tell them about um, their solution? I mean their business solving a particular problem of the society.
All right. First of all, let me come from this angle. Is it long now? I don't understand what problem solving with business is until I began to make studies. So I think where the issue is, people really don't understand what problem solving is. In fact, they never understand the concept of problems. So that is the first thing I think. And problem is not something huge, a bomb blast, something. No, no, no. A problem is just a need that a client will pay you for to solve, that someone will pay you for to solve. So when you are meeting the need of a particular person and you are getting money back in return, you are solving a problem for that person. All right. So and sometimes there are so many approaches to problem solving, and looking at the space that I operate in, for example, I remember I was telling some few groups of designers that look up to me, and I was giving them some word that don't be in a hurry to launch your brand. Knows what problems you want to solve. When you understand the problem, your solution will be unique. Your solution can never be unique if you don't understand the problem you are solving. So let me say, for example, someone that is a female designer that does female dress. There are so many aspects of female dress, and you cannot do everything. All right. So all you need to look at is what are the problems that exist within the niche of female wears. Take, for example, there are ladies who want pockets in their gowns, right? And most ladies' gowns do not come with pockets. So as a designer, how can you create a gown for smart ladies that can still have pockets? That is one. Right. So by the time you do that, you are solving a problem for someone that doesn't want that one day just want to go out casually and doesn't want to go with a bag or a purse. So there are ladies who sometimes the responsibility of carrying a bag, they don't want to take that responsibility part time. So they just need something they can go out casually. So someone can position himself as a kind of something like that. So you are solving a problem for people in that space. All right. So there are people that want. Okay, let me say there are people that don't usually use ready to wear and they love custom made. And one of the key challenge is time. Right. So someone in a position of providing a custom clothing in a very short time, within a short space of time, you've delivered, you've solved the problem. So, but it has to come down to first you understanding what problem am I solving. That is what makes your business unique. So when you don't understand the problem you want to solve, you just be there like normal. What you are doing, you are just doing business at a common sense level. Yeah, a common sense level, because other people are sewing. In fact, the trend now is that people want to wear clothes every day. So let me also be a designer. Let me also be sewing. Whereas in the space now, there are people who don't know how to sew that are owning a brand. But one of my talk to people recently is that if you want to go into this space, you don't necessarily need to learn the skill. I would rather say go and learn entrepreneurship skills. When you learn entrepreneurship skills, then you can use that to sort for what you need. So it's just understanding that I want to solve a problem. Like for example now, when I started, I one of the pain points for me was how can I go to a store, right, and buy what is called ready to wear, right, and I cannot wear it immediately. That I had to take it to another designer, another tailor, a local tailor, now to do that for me. So, and any altered garment that is not to your size cannot fit as it's supposed to. So now let's say that local designer now damaged my ready to wear garments. That means I've wasted my money. Right? So I now like, okay, what is now the need that this thing is called ready to wear? It means the moment I buy it, I should be able to wear it. So when I buy it at that time and I'm unable to wear it, then it's no longer passing the message of ready to wear. So I began to work.
Of course.
Then I was like, what can I do because to me this is a problem. And by research also, it also shows to me that this is a problem. In fact, I specifically discovered that there are problems with pants, trousers. You cannot buy a pants trouser and you will not go for alterations. It's not possible. They're ready to wear, it's not possible. Why? Because the maker of such a garment do not have you in mind when they were making it. And when you are going to a store, you are not going to buy your clothes. You are going to buy a clothes that can fit your size. So that clothes can only size you, but not to your feet. So you end up taking it to a local tailor. So that means wasting more money because that alteration will cost you. So if it's a designer that charges high and it charges you 2K, for example, for an alterations, it has cost you more than you just pay a custom tailor to do for you. My opinion. I began to now research that how can I position myself. It was then I came across perfect fit and seamless cut. That I can change how ready to wear products are being sold. Yeah, because
Okay.
the common way of buying ready to wear products is that I go to a store. The best the store can do for me is to take my circumference measurements. For example, if I want to buy a shirt now, I can take my chest measurement. That is the best, highest level they can do for me. Or they ask, what size do you wear? And the common size we are used to here is small, medium, large, extra large, and all. So if I buy a large dress, for example, it's not my fit. Let's say I'm wearing 38. When I buy 40, it's not my fit. It's only in the range of what I can wear, but it's not to my fit. So that is a problem. So there are people that get dissatisfied with this kind of experience in getting ready to wear garments. So all I needed to do is to position myself to that kind of people, right? And being the solution that they need. As in the ready-made market, being a bespoke tailor, I can also provide them that same experience. But I can give them a better experience than that. Talking about changing how ready to wear fashion is but because we cannot get rid of ready to wear market, right? We can only reposition how it's been done. We can change how it's been done. So I thought of, okay, what if I had to buy a dress and I don't need to use only my size? I think I'm disposing most of my ideas, but I don't mind. So I don't have to buy with, okay, I wear size 40 and that is all. No. So what if I can buy using my height? What if I can buy using my weight? That on a garment descriptions, that I see that this garment is for a 6 feet tall person. So the moment you know you're not 6 feet tall, you know that this garment is not made for you. So even though the maker of such a garment is not having you in mind, but he's still thinking indirectly about you. Why? Because he's thinking about your eyes and your body weight. So if you're 6 feet tall and 80 kg, so there will be a discussion on that can be age. So those are the factors that you can use to buy ready to wear. So by the time you do all this and put a solution together, this is a problem that you have solved. And you come ready.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is that. So the concept of problem solving first, it is very important. It's just like one of the things I'm taking people that seek for my counsel is that first is know the problem you want to solve. And be doing it in your growing phase, be in a process. Yeah. You are not saying stop what you're doing. I'm gonna be looking for problems. Alongside what you're doing, be thinking of the problem you want to position what you're doing to solve. Yeah, and very soon I'm working on a problem solving class that I'm going to give out to as many people that are interested in learning and all that. So I also discovered that problems comes from what resonates with us most of the times. Like because you see something as a problem, the ability to solve it is inside of you. The reason why you can see that this thing is a problem because the solution to that problem is inside of you. And that is the beginning of problem solving. So the
Okay.
recognition that if I can sense that this thing is a problem, for me to see that this is a problem, that means there is a solution inside me that I need to find out to see this thing is a problem. Yeah, I don't know if that experience is like that with you, but it is with that.
Yeah, yes, of course.
This is a problem because it's something inside me that isn't a problem. So that thing inside that tells me it's a problem is a solution to just find. So all I need to do now is search in that space of what I did as a problem and get hold of the solution that is coming out of it, then I will be unique that way. But entrepreneurs today be relevant without solving the problem. So the beginning of entrepreneurship is how to solve them. Yeah. Because your
Okay.
solution will not be needed. Yeah, as an entrepreneur, let me also say this, that solution will be needed if it's not addressing a problem. Okay, okay, I know we did mathematics in school and all. So imagine a mathematical solution without a mathematical problem. You don't know what you are solving. Just imagine I just said this is a solution to a problem and you don't know what the problem is. But imagine someone just come now and I said, this is a solution to Ebola, and there is no any Ebola outside. So if there is no Ebola, there won't be drugs for Ebola. If there is no COVID, there won't be
Of course.
COVID treatment. So it's problem first. It's not your solution. Your solution will be useless if it's not addressing a problem. Can you imagine I want to take paracetamol and I say, yeah, this paracetamol will imagine. Paracetamol is a solution, but it's not meant for COVID-19. So you think you have a solution that solves the problem, and you don't know, you don't understand the problem, you are just wasting time, and you're not be relevant like that. So that is what I think.
Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. Okay, I want to ask again that now looking at the future of work, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Hello, are you with me? Okay, now
Yes,
looking at the future of work and looking at the future and how human race is evolving over time and with technology. So where do you see people with the same skill set as you and the fashion industry? So where do you see the industry and people with a skill set like you in the future of work in the next 50 years to come? Do you still think that a lot of people with the tailoring skill will still be valuable in 50 years time?
all right. I will talk from it's the place we know that innovation is driving us into. Right. So long ago, the word bespoke tailoring started with the tailors in England, right? And these tailors, there are many of them that have been in the 1840s, in the 1820s, and all. And we have seen transformations happen in that space. So we've seen the impact of when we get into the digital age, we saw the revolutions happening in the industry. Before, there was nothing like mass-produced garments. So because technology came into play, we saw another dimension of the industry that were not there before. Right. So using to tell, and up to today, bespoke tailors are still relevant. That is the truth. So the future of works, um, any doing fashion designing today that is innovation and that's that is innovational and creativity driven is relevant to the future because it's going to be transformation. It's going to be digital transformation. I'm doing a research currently on digital fashion and which is coming out of that research because I know what we are getting into is at a certain level about say 75 60 to 75% we make local practitioners irrelevant if they do not accommodate what technology is offering every space. Yeah. So in fact we have seen in the field of agriculture how technology has made laborers to be useless. So that means if that can happen in the field of agriculture, it can happen in any other field. We've seen manufacturing where technologies has made human labors useless. So if any enterprise or any entrepreneur is not innovation driven, will not be relevant in the future of work. So in the next 30, 50 years, we are going to operate what I call virtual fashion, digital fashion. And if we don't position ourselves for this, because that is really, there will be there will still be underground localities. In as much as human race is in existence, the localities from us. Sure. Right. So to your localities, you must add as entrepreneurs, you must add to innovation, you must add to it creativity, you must add to it the opportunities that tech has offered us. Yeah, tech has offered us a wonderful opportunities. Everyone wants to take their business online. In fact, I'm currently something on how that there can be a virtual bespoke studio that you don't need to come to our fashion house to be measured. You don't need to come to our fashion house to enjoy bespoke experience. That virtually we can give you a bespoke, wonderful experience that receive your product will be as if you came to our fashion house. That is what we are working on. So that is positioning for the future of work. Because if I don't do that, my brand will not be relevant when we get to the age. The next 30, 50, 40, 60 years. We've seen brands that the current operators, the current the founders, that are people that are ages ago. Take for instance Nike, Prada, Giorgio Armani. Especially Giorgio Armani was not founded by the current CEO, but the fathers or grandfathers. They transfer that experience down the line. So with the introduction of technologies, they were able to give it a new face. And also, let me say this: fashion designing is not all about sewing. Tailoring
Okay.
is just a part of the process. My advice with people that want to get into fashion industry is study the fashion value, study the fashion value chain. Otherwise, you will not know that the job is for them. This kind of people are still needed. If the reason why Prada should not positioning themselves as tailors is because they accommodate the. So I would say that fashion entrepreneurs out there should study in the industry and pick the area of interest and position themselves. Your area of interest is fashion retailing. It's part of the value chain, right? So as a fashion, begin to position yourself digitally so that when you get into that space, because there's going to be a very big information in the work we do today. Very big. So all you need to do is
Mr. Emmanuel. Hello.
yeah. To
The network is not very good. I can barely hear what you are saying.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Yeah, the network is kind of poor and is affecting the live broadcast. I think the future of work for the industry is something so huge. Perhaps we can have another session on, I mean, we can have another interview section on that, which will be basically to talk about the future of fashion industry, and then the future of tailoring and some other skill sets under the fashion industry. But lastly, from this interview, you are a Christian, right?
Yes, I'm a Christian. Yeah. And I'm
Okay. I want to ask about the. Yes, I want to ask about the impact. Yes, I'm with you. Are you with me?
okay. Yes, I'm with you.
Are you with me? Okay.
Yes,
Now I want to ask about the impact of your faith in your business.
Okay. Um. Okay. Let me say this. Jesus Christ, that we know as the Son of God, did not come because he needed to come. He came because there is a problem in the world that only him can solve. Right? And he has shown us the leadership style of it. He has shown us the uh, the human capacity development part of it. He has shown us how he was able to raise for the course of his assignment and for the course of the problem he was sent to solve. And even God in the creation, we saw problem solving in the creation. In fact, the whole of creations was all about problem solving. God saw that the earth was dark, empty, void. Problem. Imagine the same earth God created, full of darkness, and it was a problem. And God needed to provide solutions to that. So the first thing we must learn is that the impact of my faith is that first, the biggest revelation I get is that as a believer, I am a problem solver. Yeah, I am a problem solver. So I solve problems. Problem solving is my life hobby. It's what I do for a living. So as a believer, I am a problem solver. What makes me that? Because the creator, what he did is that he started a process of problem solving and he ended it at rest. So he did not just go to rest because he needed to. He goes to rest because he has created another system of sustainability, of keeping in flow the problem solving ability. He put the same ability he has in a man. That means whatever problem God can solve, as a child of God, I can solve that problem. Why? Because my creator has put in me the ability, the power to solve such a problem. And even Jesus, he said that greater things, more than he has done, I will do. Right. So, uh, but what one of the things that has killed us, especially in this part of the world, in this line of faith, is what I call religion. Yeah, one of our big problems is religion. So we we don't differentiate. Okay, let me say we don't understand that what Jesus came to offer. Jesus did not come with a religion. He didn't come with a religion. He came with a kingdom. He came with a kingdom, rather. So, and he put men to do the same thing he came to do in that kingdom. So, as believers, whether you are in the business world, wherever, first of all is that I am a problem solver. That is the mindset that is driven me. So if I see someone that is sick, it's a problem that needed to solve. If I see someone that is suffering, it's a problem that needed to solve. If I see children that cannot go to school, it's a problem that needed to solve. Giving to the cause of society is a problem, is what Jesus Christ did. He gave his all. He gave his all. Can you imagine the solution to a problem is a man's life? Right. So if, but I just got something right now. Now, if the solution that Jesus brought cost him his life, if your solution to any problem is not costing you your life, you are joking. By your life, I'm not meaning death, right? So if it's not costing you your life, right? If it's not costing you giving your all to it, it's not costing you developing, building yourself for the cost of it, you're joking. And because these are the leadership traits that Jesus Christ left with, and that is what we are following. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. We've actually exhausted our time. I believe.
Hello. Can I say this, please?
Okay. I can hardly hear you.
Okay. Let me also quickly add something.
Are you with me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I'm with you now.
All right.
Yes, I'm with you.
All right. I want to use the opportunity to say to people out there, especially if you're a believer, that your core assignment now is to begin to build capacity for the things that is coming. There's going to be a big shift in leadership. Yeah. In the next 30 years, 20, 30 years, there's going to be a big shift that, and as a believer, if we don't position ourselves for what is coming, we will not be relevant. Yeah. And what is coming? Look at any leader in any field, right? Add 30 years to their age. So in the next 30 years, they will not be there. So the next 30 years, we won't be listening to Oyedepo, we won't be listening to Samad, we won't be listening to all the top leaders, we won't be listening to the CEO of Google, right? Any space, take any leader from that space, add 30 years to their age, you won't be listening to them. So in the next 30 years, are you going to be listened to? Or you are going to be listening to? That means, are you going to be a voice that people want to listen to? Or you are going to be listening to a voice the next 30 years? The next 30 years, are you positioning yourself to be a leader in your space? Are you positioning yourself to be relevant in your space? Because there's going to be a big shift politically, economically, entrepreneurially, in any space. So, and it is time that we get involving across the faces. Yes, we are in the world, and we are not of the world. Yes, we are in the world. We can get in the world of politics. We can get in the world of entertainment. We can get in the world of business. We can get into any field we want to, because we have what it takes as believers. So all we need to do is to build capacity and prepare ourselves for what is coming. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm with you. So thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity, for honoring my invitation to come on this live broadcast this morning. I believe we still have a lot to talk about, especially the future of work in regard to the fashion industry. Some skill set that will still be relevant, and some that will not be relevant in years to come. Of course, these are stuff we are going to talk about in next session. I believe that we still have another session to talk about the future of work in the fashion industry world. So we still talk about that in our other interview. But before we go, I want to ask that in short, how are you able to market your service as a fashion designer? So So how are you able to market your business, your service to people out there? So how have you been able to do this? Just give us the insight to how you've been able to measure and sell your service to people out there. And then briefly about the challenges that you face in the fashion world. Yeah.
Okay. But basically, my greatest strength of marketing is referral. Yeah, basically at the moment. That is because I'm conscious about building customer loyalty, right? So, yes, I am online. I market online, right? So, but our market at the moment basically is referral. So when you come to us, we ask you to refer us to another person, and we have we have a juicy offer. We have what we call our referral offer that we give to every everyone that refer the client to us. So talking about online presence, we are currently online at Bob Max, just that our page is under construction. Yeah, so there's still one or two works we're doing on the page right now. So when you get to the page, you cannot see any display at all right now because we are working out some things. So, but basically, our online presence is there. We reach out basically referring people to our business. That would be our strength because it takes trust for people to patronize a business. So, if, for example, if I patronize you for the first time and I trust you, and I know someone that trusts me, so if I tell the person about you, through me, the person will patronize you because of trust. So and sometimes we have the advantage of online sales, but it has to be on the element. That's one of the challenges with online marketing is trust. Yeah. So what we're doing, we are at the moment building a portfolio of trust with our clients, so that when we fully launch our online presence is not just be for display goods. This is why we put our page under close. We don't just want it to be displayed of goods. We want something that when people visit, they buy, they pay for our services. All right. So is the reason why we are doing some of this. So our key marketing strength is referral marketing.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Also,
much, Mr. Emmanuel.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. We've exhausted our time. I think we've spent about 1 hour or more than, and we are still going to bring you back to this show again to talk about
No problem.
the future of work in regarding to the fashion industry. But for this time that you've given for this interview, I really want to thank you for making it out. And then
Thank you.
also, I also want to thank those that are joining to participate in this program. I thank everyone for making it out to join this interview session. Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel. We really appreciate you. And of course, this video will still be replayed on my YouTube channel and also on my Facebook. So a lot of people are going to have access to the interview, and then if there are some other questions at the end of the day, I will ensure to forward them to you. Of course, there are a lot of questions, but time is constrained that we cannot take them. We can't take them more than this point, right? So I want to tell you, thank you so much. We really appreciate. So at this point, we'll be saying our goodbyes from here to go back
Thank you so
to our individual. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with
Yes.
you. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So,
Thank you.
like I'm saying that, okay.
Thank you so much for this privilege.
Mm.
It's an honor.
All right, Mr. Iman.
Yeah.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Mhm. Yes, sir. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining this live program. It's been an honor to have Mr. Emmanuel, the CEO of Bob Max, to join this interview. We are very sorry for the network. It's just so somehow, but I'm telling you that in the next interview, we know that the network will be much more better than this. So thank you so much. This video will be available on my YouTube channel and also on my Facebook. I'm also will be here on this Instagram so that you can go over it once and again. So this is where I'm going to say goodbye. I'm Oluwale Omojofodu. Thank you so much.